Hello, my name is Lauren Cox and I'm the Development Director here at Dove Lewis, and I want to say welcome to our first ever remote Wet Nose Soiree. Thank you for joining us tonight, and especially for those who've already pre-registered for the event. If you haven't, it's not too late to sign up. During the program, you're going to hear from some of the Dove Lewis leadership team as well as heartwarming stories from some of our staff and clients. First, I'd like to introduce you to Board Chair Scott Bontempo.
Hello. I'm Scott Bontempo, the board chair at Dove Lewis. On behalf of all the dedicated women and men at Dove Lewis, I want to thank you for joining us at our first ever virtual Wet Nose Soiree. As an animal owner and lover, when I joined this board more than 6 years ago, I knew Dove Lewis as a local gem, a fixture in the community, and one of the things that makes Greater Portland so special. Since then, I've proudly watched Dove expand its local community programs while becoming a regional and global resource to veterinary practices far and wide. Dove Lewis is a team of passionate, dedicated professionals who make the extraordinary look routine every day. A 17th century writer said, "You have not lived today until you have done something for someone who can never repay you." His words intersect with our mission at Dove Lewis, which is to care for every animal and every person who cares for them, always. We will do that for 25,000 patients this year, even those patients who come to us without owners. I'd like to share with you a video highlighting one of our fantastic doctors and several animal patients that were helped because of generous donors just like you.
My name is Lindsay McGuire, and I've been a veterinarian at Dove Lewis for 3.5 years. Dove Lewis is a very special place. There is an amazing team that work really well together to help support all the different cases. Every day at Dove Lewis as a veterinarian is different. I feel the whole gamut of emotions when I'm working. It is sometimes the only place where people can take their animal depending on the situation, and we have the ability to help whoever walks in the door. The cost of veterinary care can be cost prohibitive, and so I'm very fortunate to have the Velvet Assistance Fund to be able to care for more animals. I see the impact of these donations in my work every day. As a Dove Lewis veterinarian, I'm so thankful for donors like you who help us care for the most fragile animals in our community. Family pets like Corilla, who was suddenly attacked by another dog in a parking lot. Her emergency care would not have been possible without your support. Lost pets like Charlie, who was brought to us by a Good Samaritan. She had been wandering all over Portland after escaping her mom's car. As Corvallis residents, Charlie's mom was particularly worried, but we kept Charlie fed and hydrated until her mom could pick her up, thanks to your gifts. I am so grateful for your generous support of Dove Lewis. Thank you.
Dove Lewis is always here and always open because of you, our amazing community. And we have a pretty incredible team of veterinary professionals working tirelessly to provide the absolute best medical care for our pets. I'd now like to introduce you to our President and CEO, Ron Morgan.
Hi, I'm Ron Morgan, the President and CEO at Dove Lewis, and I want to welcome you to the online version of the 2020 Wet Nose Soiree. Before I go any further, I want to thank the amazing companies that helped bring this event to you this week. The Rio Vista Foundation, Carisbrook Technologies, US Bank, Kaiser Permanente, Capers Cafe, Tito's Handmade Vodka, R&H Construction, and Columbia Bank. Thank you so very much for your support. For all of you out there, I hope your families are safe. And I know you're getting to spend a little extra time with your beloved pets. This is a devastating and unexpected time in our world. So many families across the globe have been affected either by the virus itself or now the devastating economic outcomes of the measures we've all had to take to help keep each other safe. Dove Lewis is not immune to those devastating outcomes. We don't know what the future might hold. What we do know is that we're going to work tirelessly to keep providing the amazing emergency and specialty veterinary medicine that we do at Dove Lewis. And we're never going to stop working hard to provide our life-saving community programs that are a beacon for so many in our community. Over the next few weeks and months to come, the need for those programs is probably going to be higher than ever before. At the same time, those economic outcomes may affect our ability to raise the precious funds we need to support our programs. More than ever before, we need your love and support of Dove Lewis. We need you to help us deliver those community programs to those in need. We are in this together. We're not alone. Dove Lewis is an indispensable resource for our community, and you help make that possible. Despite this crisis, animal emergencies and the need for care is not going to stop. The need for our community programs are not going to stop. Our programs are a lifeline to the most vulnerable pets and people in our area, and we need your support more than ever before. I'd now like to introduce you to Hannah, Kevin, and their 4-year-old Bernese Mountain dog, Sheldon. They have an amazing experience from last summer that they would like to share.
Sheldon's favorite toy is a racquetball. Sheldon loves racquetballs. Sheldon also loves all of his stuffed animals. Sheldon means to us family and happiness, also goofiness. We got Sheldon in 2015, pretty early in our relationship, and I think he is sort of a representation of our love.
It's just been us two and him for the last few years. He's definitely our little guy.
Sorry, are we boring you? It was just a week before our wedding when we first noticed Sheldon was bleeding from his mouth. I just assumed that he'd probably cut his mouth on something.
By the next morning, there's blood everywhere. There's blood on the carpets, on the floor, on the couch. I walked in and he just didn't move from the floor. He looked at me and just put his head back down. And that was really when I knew it's affecting him.
We took Sheldon to Dove Lewis 4 days before our wedding.
Sheldon was diagnosed with immune-mediated thrombocytopenia, which essentially means that his body started attacking all the platelets that he has to the point where he couldn't stop bleeding.
The disease that Sheldon had, it was life-threatening. He was hospitalized in our ICU for several days. It took a while for Sheldon to respond to immunosuppressive therapy, and during that time, we have to provide blood transfusions so that his body can survive while we're waiting for his body to respond to therapy. And throughout that time, he needed 3 blood transfusions until he was able to respond to therapy and stop bleeding so much on his own.
You know, it's supposed to be the best week of your life, right? Seeing him suffering through that entire time it made it rough.
Going into our wedding, we knew he's in really good hands. There's nothing we can do for him right now. We weren't out of the woods yet, but it was looking hopeful.
We wrote our own vows, and I had written my own vows a couple weeks before, and then I rewrote them about our experience that week. This week has been a whirlwind of emotions. Seeing one of our family members struggling this week has put everything into perspective. As we sat in Sheldon's little pen at Dove Lewis on Wednesday night, I realized how truly lucky I was to have such an amazing partner for this life. It was one of the lowest points I've had in the past few years, and yet there was no one else that I would have rather been with in that pen.
Sheldon's disease was really serious, and the ability to get blood products is what made it possible for him to survive. Sheldon received 3 different transfusions from 3 different donors, Archie, Olive, and Kashi. We're so lucky to have a blood bank at Dove Lewis because it allows us to give blood products to patients on an emergent basis. So the minute a patient walks in the door and they need a blood transfusion or some other blood product, we're able to provide that care right away.
After our ceremony, I had a text from Dove Lewis that said, Sheldon's platelets are now in the 200,000 range. He can be discharged tomorrow. I can't even tell you how excited we were. Once our night had kind of officially shut down, we hopped right on over to Dove Lewis and we got our wedding picture with Sheldon.
He had been through so much. It didn't really matter that it was 2 in the morning. We needed to see him and be supportive of him because he's been so supportive of us.
I would like to say thank you to all of the donors that made our entire experience at Dove Lewis possible. Without them, we wouldn't have Sheldon.
To all the donors, I would say thank you so much for your support. It's because of you guys that we're able to provide top-of-the-line care, from just a pet that comes in from a broken nail to a pet that needs dialysis. We're able to do those things because of your support.
Now that Sheldon is doing okay, we are very excited to go on more of our outdoor adventures and to continue to give Sheldon a lifetime supply of racquetballs. There's just no better place for Sheldon than Dove Lewis. Hi everyone, we are Kevin and Hannah, and this is Sheldon, who has the honor of being this year's guest of honor at the Wet Nose Soiree. We were so incredibly excited to meet all of you in person at this year's soiree, but we are so very grateful for your online support for the first ever virtual Wet Nose Soiree. We know this is a little bit different than normal, but pour yourself a tasty beverage and have a drink with us because we have something to celebrate. We would like to make a special cheers to you, everyone that is watching this right now, because you are the reason that this super fluffy creature is here with us today. All of you are the donors that make Dove Lewis possible. Sheldon would also like to make a special thank you to any dog or cat that has donated blood to the Dove Lewis Blood Bank, because dogs and cats like you are the reason that Sheldon is here today, and you help save so many pets.
We cannot thank the staff at Dove Lewis enough for their hard work, long hours, compassion, and enthusiasm. Not only are they empathetic and caring towards the animals, but they also care about us, the owners. We are so grateful that Dove Lewis and all of you have become a part of our story. Your help and support will create so many more stories just like ours. Thank you, everyone. And cheers to all of you.
Thank you to Hannah and Kevin for sharing their story with us. Sheldon's experience captures perfectly what a community, nonprofit veterinary medical center is, what Dove Lewis is for our community. We're here for you. We're here for every pet owner and every animal in our community that needs our help. You make success stories like Sheldon's possible. Saving lives, providing compassionate care every day is what we do, even during a pandemic. The Wet Nose this year was budgeted to raise close to $350,000. Please raise a paddle for us this week. Do what you can personally do, maybe a stretch goal in these difficult times, to help us reach that goal. I want to thank you for your support and for being part of Dove Lewis. With that, I'd like to pass it back to our development director, Lauren, who will share with you more of the exciting auction packages that we'll have available for you to bid on this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron, and all of you at home for registering for the online auction and supporting Dove Lewis. We have some pretty incredible items up for sale this week, and I want to give you a quick snapshot of what you should be on the hunt for. Does your pet have a face that just has to be shared? Then you don't want to miss your opportunity to bid on the Dove Lewis Airport ad package. Your adorable companion will be featured on Dove Lewis's digital advertising at PDX for 3 months, and there's only 4 spots available, so check it out quick. Next up, we have the Multnomah Whiskey Library package. Ever heard of that place? Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. So big that there's a 2-year wait list just to become a member. You don't want to miss your chance to score this opportunity to skip the line and have access to some of the most exclusive whiskeys in the country. Missing wine country? Yeah, me too. But what better way to get by than to plan an epic trip for later in the year to stay at Alexana's 2-bedroom, 2-bath suite and score a helicopter ride to visit some of the local wineries. Be sure to also check out the Wine Crush Party donated by extremely generous Rob Fernandez and his wife Maggie Boone. They are exceptional hosts, and I spoke to last year's winner of this package who had nothing but rave reviews about their incredible experience. Go online to check out for more details. Ready for a long weekend getaway to Central Oregon? Thanks to Bennington Properties, you can bid on a large pet-friendly home really close to the Aquatic and Rec Center. Easiest vacation ever. If you're a fan of dessert wines and ports that are really, really old and really, really good, then you definitely need to bid on the house party hosted by our very own board member, Tony Ogden, and his husband, Bill. They are absolutely wonderful hosts, and they have a pretty incredible wine cellar. I speak from experience. We have 2 awesome trips on the docket that thankfully have long redemption timelines but are sure to be magical once we're allowed to actually leave our homes. Whether you're ready to take flight and relax on a 7-day trip to Bali or stay closer home with a trip to Napa Valley for some exceptional wine tasting, these trips will give you something really exciting to look forward to in the months ahead. We are so bummed you didn't have a chance to meet our MC for this year, Poison Waters, but she is committed to helping Dove Lewis and help procure an awesome Queen for a Day package. Check out the details to see exactly what that entails. If you've always wanted to make the ultimate tribute to your pet, then you don't want to miss the chance to partner with Lucky Lab Brewing Company to pick out the best brew to represent your pet. Last and certainly not least, we have a very special package donated by Annette and Christian Jolie from Capers Cafe and local violinist Aaron Meyer. The Jolies are opening up the cellar and their kitchen for an exclusive party for up to 30 people, which will also include a performance by Aaron. So check it out. So there you have it, our lineup of live auction items, but there is so much more to bid on and you have until Friday at 9 p.m. to place your bids. Thank you again for registering for the online auction and supporting Dove Lewis. Your generosity this week will ensure that we can continue to support the thousands of animals and people that rely on us for care. Thank you.